I am back with another video, and today's video is actually going to be a book haul, and I'm so excited for it. Now, first off, please excuse how I look. I just had a shower, I've got home from work, I'm wearing my robe because it's friggin' cold, and I'm sitting in bed, so I do not care what I look like. This is just how it is. So there's that. So I have been finding booklets on eBay for a fairly decent price of authors that are new to me. They're not new, but they're new to me. And I have been purchasing them. So I've got, I think, about 25 books, so a decent amount. So let's just start. Now, I am going to read you the synopsises of all of these because it's just easier to describe them, because to be honest with you, when I purchased these, I knew nothing about them. Apart from the fact that they were either a paranormal romance, historical romance, a futuristic romance, or a time-swept romance. So there's that. So let's jump into it. The first author I have, and I've grouped it by authors, is actually Melanie Jackson. I've never heard of Melanie Jackson before, but that's okay. So the first book I have here is actually called A Curious Affair, and this is what this one looks like. Super cute. It's got black cats on the cover. I love it, and it's got like a very matte sort of texture to this. Now this one is in fairly decent condition. There's a few little sort of like, you know, dings and bends, but other than that, it's not bad condition. But it's like a matte texture, which I thought was really different. And then it has a like tealy colored foil for the writing on this one. So this particular book is published under the Love Spell Publishing, and Love Spell is a part of the Dorchester Publishing Co. So Love Spell, which is what's on the book here, same as kind of like Avon Books or Berkeley Mystery Books or whatever, Love Spell is a part of the Dorchester Publishing Company. Now this particular book here is a paranormal romance, and it was published in June of 2008. Excuse me if I'm looking down, I have a notebook here with all the details for everything because I researched everything on Goodreads before I started filming this. And like I said, this is a paranormal romance. It is a standalone, this one. This one I think would be perfect for like Halloween, but let me read to you what it says. It says, like a thunderbolt, recent widow Gillian Marsh wasn't planning on killing herself that March night, but she hadn't ruled it out either. It had rained for the last 17 days, days in which her jaw was locked and she was unable to speak, supposing there'd be anyone worth addressing. And then there was her cat problem. Ever since she'd been hit by lightning last October, the cats in town had been talking to her, which meant she was insane, right? But that night, something changed. The cat Atherton appeared with something very interesting to say about an odd accident that had occurred up the hill. And since Gillian could hardly go to the town's new lawman, who'd been trained in LA and was new to this Sierra town, with a feline eyewitness, it was up to her to find out if there was indeed trouble afoot, or if this conspiracy and her newfound and unwanted attraction to Sheriff Murphy were all part of an endless hallucination. And I thought that sounded so good, you guys. This particular one, excuse all the noise, it's like, I don't know, 6:30 or something. Hang on, let me check. I have my phone here. Yeah, it's 6:30, so it's pretty busy outside. I live on a main road, so all the traffic, like the peak hour traffic, train, trucks, you name it, they're going by. So I apologize, but I can't stop that. Some of these books are like a historical, so they're published like, you know, I mean, set in older times, but some of these are set in the 21st century, but I cannot tell with this one when it's set. It does not say, but it said LA on the back, so I'm assuming because it said LA, as in Los Angeles, that it's newer. Like, I mean, this, like closer to this time period than an historical. So there's that one. The next book I have is actually a duology. These ones are also by Melanie Jackson. So it is the Sea Fae duology, and the first one we have is The Selkie Bride, which just looks like this. And this book is actually brand new. You can tell nobody has ever read this book, which is totally fine by me. But here's the thing about this, which is I find really weird. So this is book 1 according to Goodreads. And then book 2, which is The Selkie, which is this one, you can see. So book 1, book 2. This one's published in 2010, but this one's published in 2005. So book 2 was published in 2005, but book 1 was published in 2010. Doesn't make sense, but Goodreads says that's how it went down, so I don't know. But anyway, let's get into this. The Selkie Bride, it is a paranormal romance, and this one was published, like I said, in 2010. Yeah, 2010. And let's read the back. So this one says, recently widowed Megan Colvin was glad to escape her abusive marriage and start over in an inherited cottage in a quaint Scottish village. Yet all here was not as it seemed. Legend had it Find Loss was cursed, and the coastal town, once home to witches and sea monsters, would soon see a creature far deadlier. But out of the sea and mist came an ally, a protector. The strange, distant, and dangerous Lachlan was as powerful as he was handsome, and his thirst for vengeance could no more be denied than his passion for Megan. Together with an inherited and possibly ghostly cat, Megan and her Selkie warrior would destroy their merciless foe, uncover an ancient Scots magic, and solve the mystery of a stolen heart. Like, you can't tell me that doesn't sound amazing. Also, it's in Scotland. I'm not going to say no to a book set in Scotland. So we have a Selkie, a potentially magical cat. There's whole things going on. So there's that. So super excited for that one. And then, like I said, the second book, which is The Selkie. So this one was published in 2005. Was it 5? No, 3, sorry, 2003. So this is supposed to be the second book. Now, this book is in worse condition. Like, you can see it's like more yellowed, but it doesn't bother me. I don't mind as long as it's still readable and not gross. So this one says, while the technology of the war to end all wars has changed the face of Europe, some things stayed the same. The tempestuous Scottish coast and the surrounding sea remained a place of unquenchable magic and mystery. Sequestered at Fintry Castle by the whim of her mistress, Hexie Garrow, sped 7 tears for her past, and all of which were swallowed by the waves. By joining the water, those tears completed a ritual, and that ritual summoned a prince. He came for Hexie, and for something she didn't know she had stolen. He was a man of myth whose eyes held the dark secrets of the sea, and whose silken touch was the caress of the tide. His very nature went against all Hexie had ever believed, but his love was everything she'd ever desired. And he'd come not to collect her for the insatiable ocean, but for himself. So again, sounds amazing. Let me see if it says when this is set in. I don't think it does. No, it does. This one says it's set in Scotland in 1929. So this is what's funny, right? So Goodreads says this one is book 1, this one is book 2, but this one seems like it's set in 1929, and this one seems like it's set in like the 21st century or potentially the 20th century. I feel like this one's the first one and this one's the second one. That would make more sense, but I don't know. If anyone knows about this author and this duology, let me know thoughts. Okay, the next book I have by Melanie Jackson is called Dominion. It is a standalone. And this is the cover here. All these covers are like so extra. I love it. So this particular one was published in, let's see here, August 2002, and this is a time-swept romance, and what that means is time travel. I'm not going to say no to that. And all of these books that I have, every single one of them, actually I lie, one book is not an historical or paranormal romance, but all the rest of them are, and they're all published by Dorchester, but under either Lesco or Love Spell. So this particular one, like I said, it's a time-swept romance, and it says, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right. I'm guessing this must be like the world or the, I don't know, because this is a time swept romance, so like there's time travel in this, so wherever this is, I don't know. I think it's pronounced Aeternum, 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 whatever. So it says, in Aeternum, when the Great One gifted Dementian, again, don't know how to pronounce that person's name. I'm just going to call them Dom. Okay, so it says, when the Great One gifted Domitian with love, it was not simply for a lifetime. Yet in his first incarnation, Dom was not to find happiness. His wife and unborn child were murdered, and Dom himself swore never again to feel such pain. When death came, he went willingly. The Creator sent him back to Earth to learn love in another body. Yet life after life, Dom refused. All he knew was that something was missing. Whatever name she took, whatever body she wore, he vowed to have his true love back. He would return her memories. He would explain why her dreams were haunted glimpses of his face, aching remembrances of his lips. He would protect her from the enemy he failed to destroy so many years before, and he would chase her through the ages to do so. This time, their love would rule. That sounds like such a good one, you guys. I don't necessarily know that this is technically a time travel one. I know it does come under the time swept category, but I think this is more of a reincarnation thing through the ages. I don't know. We'll see, but sounded interesting. So there's that one. Okay, on to the next several books. Okay, so let me just organize these. Okay, so the next 4 books are also Melanie Jackson, and they're a part of the Divine series. So the first book we have is book 1. So this is Divine Fire, and this is what it looks like here. I'm really actually intrigued by this particular series. There's 5 books in the series. I only have the first 4 of them though. So this one was published in 2005, and this is a paranormal romance. So this one is actually, I believe, a dual timeline. So this one is set in 1816 and then also the 21st century. So I'm intrigued by that. So we kind of have like a dual timeline going on where it jumps back and forth, I think. I'm actually really intrigued by that. So it says, who is Damien Ruthven? In 1816, Lord Byron stayed at the castle of Dr. Johann Dippel, the inspiration for Mary Shelley's Baron von Frankenstein. Trapped there by a lightning storm, he was approached by the doctor and promised a cure for his epilepsy. That cure changed him forever. And is he mad, bad, and dangerous to know? In the 21st century, Bryce Ashton wrote a book, like all biographies of famous persons. Hers on Lord Byron was sent to critics in advance. One Damien Ruthven responded. He contacted Bryce from New York, suggesting her work contained 2 errors and that only he could give her the truth. His words held hints of long-lost knowledge, were fraught with danger, deception, and desire, and his eyes, those windows to the soul, showed the experience of centuries. Damien promised to share his secrets, but first Bryce knew she would have to share herself with him. How, like, amazing does that sound, you guys? This definitely sounds kind of like a Frankenstein's monster situation going on here. I don't know for sure, but that's what it sounds like. I'm super excited. And the cover also is a man being struck by lightning, if you can see that there. Super intrigued. So that's book 1 in the Divine series. Book 2 is Divine Madness, and this is what the cover looks like. So Divine Madness was published in September of 2006, and I'm pretty sure this one is potentially a dual timeline as well. Let me just double check. Maybe? Potentially? I see 2002. I don't see any other timeline though. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. So, Divine Madness. Now, I'm pretty sure that this series is not like a, what do you call it? Oh, I can't think of the word I call it. Like, it's a series, yes. It's in the same vein, yes. But each book is about different characters. So that's what this series is about. So this one, Divine Madness, says, down a dirt road that might have been a relic from the days of Cortez, Serafina Sandoval fled her past. She was not often afraid and never without reason, but someone in her position could trust no one, not even the sublime stranger she met on her way. The Comte de Saint-Germain had been beautiful. Lucifer had been too. It says, no, Serafina could ill afford to trust when the dark man had found her in Paris. She'd been someone else, and she had bartered her soul, not realizing the manner of its collection. All good things come to an end, and she had spent centuries on the run. She and her cat had ended here, Mexico, an arid land of tequila, ancient rites, and vampires. Ooh, okay. And in the arms of a man with a past more bizarre than her own, a man whose eyes vowed joyous oblivion. It would be madness to trust, to accept, to believe in a union for the ages, but she had only moments to decide. Leave or take the ride fate offered. She'd always been one for a ride. So actually this sounds amazing. And it does have in the cover, it looks kind of like an Aztec type of coin. I'm not saying it is Aztec, I know that like that, but I'm just saying it kind of has like in the background one there. But this sounds interesting. Mexico. Okay, I love the Mexican culture, so super excited for that. Vampires, you don't need to say more. Like, say no more. I'm in. So sounds super, super fun. Then the third book in the series is Divine Night, and this one looks like it could be maybe a little bit more historical than the other one. So this is what this one looks like. This one was published in December of 2007. So this one says, Alex had seen a dead man. Not that he should be surprised, he was supposedly dead too. Yet he, Alexandre Dumas, famous author of The Count of Monte Cristo and The Three Musketeers, was the most definitely still alive and immortal. He had chronicled much of his life for his current publisher, swashbuckling exploits on every continent, but those fictions could be no more thrilling than the sudden reappearance of his arch nemesis, the Comte de Saint-Germain. The man who had murdered Alex's one true love and whose heart he had torn out over 60 years ago. No less thrilling was the woman of whom Alex now dreamed, a daring beauty who made him hark back to older days, older hopes, a time of love and lust, and the highest adventure. She promised escape from a solitary eternity, reminded him that even where darkness beckoned, there was still the sky, the stars, immortal and divine night. That sounds incredible. I am super excited to read that one, and I also really love the fact that a lot of these are based on authors. Ooh, excuse me. But like, I don't know, I'm loving it, right? And then the last book I have in the series, which is book 4, which is Divine Fantasy. This one, oh, actually, I forgot to check to see if this one was in a later timeline or not, or if it was a dual timeline. I don't know. Well, it starts on Christmas Eve in 2006, and then New Year's Day 2007. But I don't see other timelines. So I don't know if this one is like a dual timeline or not, but we'll find out. So Divine Fantasy is book 4. This one was published in February of 2009, this one. So this one says, who would have guessed something he penned in jest would turn out to be real and swarm his island retreat? Yet for Ambrose Bierce, renowned 19th century wit and author of the Devil's Dictionary, the joke was on him. He didn't want to be digested, and he didn't much. He had to stay alive. His reputed disappearance and death in Mexico in 1914 had been enlightening, and his animalistic new nature gave Ambrose hope of escaping the undead army. Okay. However, there was another to save. On this island was she whom he believed to be his soulmate, and while joyous, Jones promised to give her all for love, he doubted she meant her life. Stranded literally between the devil and the deep blue sea, a past fraught with secrets, and a future full of questions, the world's eminent cynic would have to trust fate. To every night sky finally came the dawn, and from this B horror movie would rise a divine fantasy. This sounds so good, and it's also set in Mexico as well. Excuse me, yawning. But this sounds amazing. Let me see if this one has a timeline on it. It does not. It says 1914. I just was wondering though if the whole book was set in 1914. It doesn't seem to say. Don't know, it doesn't say. I'll let you know when I one day read this one. But that sounds so good. And on the back, there is actually a picture of a moon and a wolf right here, which I thought was interesting as well. So that is all of the Melanie Jackson books that I've got. Now on to, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this author's name right, Saran Dawson. Her first name is Saranne, Saran. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. So I actually have 5 books from this particular author. So let's jump into these ones. So the first one I have here is called Secrets of the Wolf, and this one is a paranormal historical romance, and it was published in 1998. And this is what the cover looks like. The cover definitely looks like something you'd find in a step back, which I'm loving. And this one looks like it's set, just trying to see, because like I said, not all of these are historicals, but I can't seem to find a timeline for this one. But it does say it's an historical, so there's that. So on the back it says, beautiful Amanda Traynor was being followed as she embarked on a mission to unearth the lost civilization of Cassids. The flame-haired beauty was rescued from an attacker by a seductive stranger with ice blue eyes. His silver hair was soft as the night air, and his eyes held innumerable secrets. Locked in Draken's arms, Amanda felt the past slip away as a new future unfolded before her, full of innocence and promise. But she sensed that behind Draken's feral gaze lay unfathomable, truths so horrible they jeopardized the only happiness she'd ever known. Hidden deep in the Cassid fortress, shrouded by the mist of the dark mountains, ancient legends threatened to quench the flames of passion and destroy the Cassids forever. Together they could save his people, but only if their love was strong enough to survive the mysteries hidden in his piercing blue eyes. I mean, girl. That one's so good. Yes, so good. Okay. The next one is called Star-Crossed, and this is a futuristic romance. I've got quite a lot of futuristic romances actually in this one. So this particular one was published in 1994, and again, this cover definitely looks like something you'd find on a step back, which I'm loving. This one does not have a timeline either, but it's a futuristic romance, so do with that what you will. But on the back it says, Rowena was a master artisan, a weaver of enchanted tapestries that whispered of past glories, yet not even magic could help her foresee that she would be sent to assassinate an enemy leader. Her duty was clear until the seductive beauty fell under the spell of the man she had to kill. His reputation said that he was a warmongering barbarian, but Zachary McTavish preferred conquering damsels' hearts over pillaging fallen cities. One look at Rowena told him to guard his loins and prepare for battle of his life, and if he had his way, his stunningly passionate rival would reign victorious as the mistress of his heart. So that sounds amazing. Also, the male character's last name is McTavish, which would normally be, I believe, a Scottish name, so this might take place in Scotland. And it does have like a little byline or whatever you call it on the bottom. It says in love in another time and another place. So I don't know. It sounds intriguing though. Okay, the next Sarah and Dawson one I have is called Prince of Thieves, and I love this cover, you guys. Look at the cover! And also the back cover. So it doesn't have a step back, but the back cover though is definitely what you would find in a step back. I mean, look at that. Right? So this one was published in 1998. It is a historical romance, and this one does not have a timeline that I can see. That's okay. But on the back it says, unwilling to relinquish her prosperous estate and marry a man she despised, Lady Mariana was dispatched to the now occupied land of her kingdom's ancient enemies. The recent war had left the land and its inhabitants bereft of food and hope. One man held the lifeblood of the country in his grasp, a man who, despite his ragged attire, intrigued Mariana like no other. Lord Roderick Hode, the former Earl of Varley, was her king's sworn enemy and now led a rogue band of thieves who stole from the rich and gave to the poor. But when Mariana looked into Roderick's blazing eyes, she saw his passion for life, for his people, for her. Deep in the forest, he took her to the peak of ecstasy and joined their souls with a desire sanctioned only by love. Torn between her heritage and a love that knew no bounds, Mariana would gladly renounce her people if only she could remain forever in the strong arms of her Prince of Thieves. That sounds like such a good book, you guys. Like, I don't even know what to say about that one. So good. Okay. The next one I have is called Starlight Starbright by Sarah Dawson. This one was published in November of 1999, and this is the cover. It also looks like something you'd find in a... Sorry about that, guys. My camera cut off. But as I was saying, this one is also a futuristic romance. So, this one also does not have a timeline, but that's okay. So this one's actually in really good condition. It looks like someone's read it, but only like once. I really like it. So this one says, Serena had always been curious, insatiable in her quest for knowledge, and voracious in her appetite for adventure. No one understood her fascination with the heavens and the wondrous moving stars that trace the vast sky. But when one of those stars landed, the biggest, most handsome man she had ever seen stepped off the ship and captured her heart. and from the moment they touched, she realized that this tall, dark stranger completed her. His mission was simple: bring Serena to the Sisterhood of training to harness her great mental power. Yet Darian couldn't stop thinking about the beautiful young woman and the way she looked at him as though he were the only man in the universe. He longed to run his hands through her silky blonde tresses, taste her velvety kisses, and spend an eternity lying in her arms. Despite all the forces that conspired to keep them apart, Darian knew that together he and Serena would tap the power of the stars. That sounds so good, you guys. And so it sounds like he is technically, I would say, considered to be like an alien, like a human, like person, but like not from Earth, because it does say he came in on a spaceship. So I don't know. Sounds good though. And then the last Sarah Dawson one I have is called Green Fire. This is also a futuristic romance. It was published in October of 1994, and this is what the cover looks like. Very much like a step back. Like, very much like a step back. This one is in really good condition as well. It looks like it's only been read once. It doesn't have a timeline that I can see, but that's okay. So this one says, as leader of her people, it was time for beautiful flame-haired Nazaline to choose a mate, time to produce a daughter and an heir. For generations, the women of her race had kept an uneasy truce with the warlike men around them, submitting to male desire out of duty instead of pleasure. But Nazaline dreamed of a different kind of bonding, a joining of spirits as well as bodies. In her dream, she saw the man who was destined to be her lover. Unlike the dark-haired, dark-eyed warriors she'd always known, he had hair of burnished gold, and his piercing eyes were the color of the sacred green fire. Most astonishing of all, the thought of taking him to bed filled Nazaline not with dread, but delicious anticipation. This sounds amazing. I don't know if Nazaline is human or not. I mean, she clearly looks human on the cover, but it just sounded like maybe she wasn't. I don't know. But this sounds so good. Cannot wait to read that one. So that was all of the Sarah Dawson, Sarah Dawson ones. And then I have the next two books are from an author called Marilyn Campbell. This one was actually a tad confusing. So when I tried to look these up on Goodreads at first, I could not find this book. This book is called Pyramid of Dreams. It's a futuristic romance as well. This one did come with a tear in the cover, like it had torn right down. So I did just tape it down with a bit of sellotape just to tape the cover back down. The book itself is perfectly readable. Like, you can tell the book has only been read a few times, but I'm guessing just because, like, you can see the color of the cover in there, and it's, like, torn all the way down. I'm guessing it's sat in, like, sun or something. So yeah, the cover has torn, but that's okay. If I ever find better copies of any of these, I will obviously buy them and replace them. But like I was saying, at first I could not find this particular book on Goodreads, and there is a reason for that, and that is because this particular book is also known by another name. It is known by Romulus, and so when you look on Goodreads, Romulus comes up. This comes up in the other editions. So this is actually book 1 in the Inner World series. I don't know how many books there are in a series, but there's a few. So this particular one is, like I said, it is a futuristic one. It was published in 1994, and it says on the back, she was a stranger to his futuristic world, an outsider in the rainbow-hued crystal city who must not be allowed to return to her home. Yet, though Asta would never be accepted by his people, Romulus found himself irresistibly drawn to the beautiful pariah. His fierce ambition made a formal joining with her impossible, but the fever of mating drove him to tangle his hands in her silver blonde hair, to taste her melting lips, to teach her the exquisite pleasures of his exotic brand of sensuality. How could he deny himself a future with her in this land of desire and delight, where even the wildest dreams could become reality. That sounds amazing. I cannot wait for that one. And then the second book I have is called Topaz Dreams, which is actually the second book in the Inner World series. This particular one was published in 1992, which again, I don't know how Pyramid of Dreams can be number one and this can be number two. I don't know if it's just maybe this version of this one is, I don't know. But anyway, this one says, the man from Inner World, fierce and cunning, Falcon had always denied his emotions, believing they would sap his incredible strength. Then the empath set out to find the ring that could destroy his futuristic world, and he ran into an unexpected setback, a beauty who roused his untested desire. The woman from Outer World. Tough and independent, Stephanie Barbanel didn't need any man to help her track down a missing scientist, but tempted by Falcon's powerful magnetism, she gladly joined forces with the mysterious stranger. Steve longed to give in to her burning ardor, to taste the ecstasy of Falcon's kisses, until she discovered that their love could never be unless one of them sacrificed everything for the other. This sounds incredible, you guys. Super, super excited for that one. So that was all from that particular author. Now on to the next two books. The next two books are written by Nancy Kane, or also known as Nancy J. Cohen. So the first book I have is book 2 in the Lightyear trilogy. And this one is also a futuristic romance, and this one is called Moonlight Rhapsody. And it just looks like this. I have book 2 and 3 in the trilogy, but I don't have book 1. So this particular one says, on a secret mission that took him to far reaches of the galaxy, Lord Rolf Cambry was captured and enslaved. Sworn to escape at any cost, he vowed to destroy anyone who tried to stop him. But his plans went awry when he came face to face with his new master, a stunning temptress with the power to drive men mad. Like the sirens of old, Alyssa could cast a spell with her voice, but she would lose the powers forever if she succumbed to a lover's touch. Forced to use her gift for merciless enemies, she would do anything to be free. Yet did she dare trust Rolf to help her when his mere presence aroused her beyond reason and threatened to leave her defenseless? Sounds so good. This series, like the trilogy, is also, each book is a different character. So the third book in the Lightyear trilogy is called Star Child. It was published in April of 1995, and again, the cover is amazing, you guys. So this one says, Starlight Desires, gifted with extrasensory powers, Mara had always been loath to use her special talents, but when Off-Worlders kidnapped the great healer's daughter, she willingly volunteered to help rescue the child. Little did she know that her mission would take her across the universe and into the mind and heart of a rakishly attractive commander. From the moment Mara boarded his starship, Deke Sage knew she was going to be trouble. She was too naive and too trusting for her own good and too captivating for his. He refused to open himself, body and soul, to the raven-haired temptress until he realized that without Mara's skills, he'd never defeat his enemies or savor the sweet delight of her love. That sounds amazing, you guys. I cannot wait to read all of these. Okay, so the next book I have is a book from an author called Linda O. Johnson. This is a time-swept book, and this is called A Glimpse of Forever, and the cover, amazing, you guys, so amazing. And I'm pretty sure this is a Western. It kind of looks like a Western. So this particular one says, The Seer. Her wagon train stranded on the Spanish Trail, pioneer Abby Wynn searched the heavens for rain. Gifted with visionary powers, Abby sensed a man in another time gazing at the same night sky, but even she could not foresee that she would journey to the future and into the arms of her soulmate. The Stargazer. Widower Mike Danziger had escaped the LA lights for the painted desert, but nothing prepared him for a beauty as radiant as the doe-eyed woman he found. His intellect couldn't accept her incredible story, but her warm kiss erased the longing in his heart. A glimpse of forever caught between two eras, bridged only by their love. Mike and Abby fought to stay together, even as the past beckoned Abby back to save those trapped on the trail. Was their passion a destiny written in the stars, or only a fleeting glimpse of a paradise? This sounds so good. It's definitely a dual timeline. This one it starts in 1858, so that would be Abby's timeline, I'm guessing. And then let's see if I can find let's see, hold on a second. I'm not sure when his timeline is, but hers is in 1858, so there's that. Then, hi guys, sorry about that. It's actually the next day. Because my camera battery went flat while I was trying to film, even though it said the battery was full, my camera's getting old and it's starting to become faulty, so it's not 100% accurate. So it's the next day. I'm wearing different clothing, still sitting in bed though. It's freezing this afternoon, but I just wanted to finish off the rest of this book haul with you guys. So let's kind of get into it now. I don't know where I left off. Give me 1 second. Okay, back to what I was saying. I don't know where the camera cuts, so if I'm refilming a couple of books, I will just edit that out. But let's kind of start off. I have, I think, 8 books left to go through. So let's get started. So I've got this one. This is called A Glimpse of Forever by Linda O. Johnston, and this is a time-swept novel, if you will, and it says on the front cover here that it's a Gloria Deal book club selection. I don't know what that means, but this is the cover. Super pretty. And again, this cover looks like something that would be in a step back, because the cover is a lot more spicier than most historicals are. So this one is published actually by Book Margins Inc. in 1995. So in the 90s. Now this one I believe is a 2-time zone, I think, because it's a time swap one, which normally means like time travel. So chapter 1 does start off in the 1858. So I assume, I'm just trying to see the beginning of some of the chapters to see if I can see like other, I can't, but anyway. So time swept novel. So I'm just going to read you what it says on the back. This copy is a little bit battered. That doesn't bother me though, like they're old, so you know. So it says, The Seer. Her wagon train stranded on the Spanish Trail, pioneer Abby Wynne searched the heavens for rain. Gifted excuse me, allergies, you guys. I have a feeling like these books could be a tad dusty. I got them off eBay. So back to what I was saying. Gifted with visionary powers, Abby sensed a man in another time gazing at the same night sky, but even she could not foresee that she would journey to the future and into the arms of her soulmate. So it is a dual timeline. And then it says, The Stargazer. Widower Mike Danziger had escaped the LA lights for the painted desert, but nothing prepared him for a beauty as radiant as the doe-eyed woman he found. His intellect couldn't accept her incredible story, but her warm kiss eased the longing in his heart. A glimpse of forever caught between two eras, bridged only by their love, Mike and Abby fought to stay together, even as the past beckoned Abby back to save those trapped on the trail. Was their passionate destiny written in the stars, or only a fleeting glimpse of paradise? This sounds like it would be such a good book, this one. So super excited with that one. The next one I have is called Moon of Desire by Pam Rock. This is a futuristic romance, this one, and this is the cover. Again, it looks like something that you would find in a step back. Not complaining. This one was published in 1993, like November 1993. And it says on the back, Moon of Danger, her newborn nephew kidnapped by a mysterious brotherhood, Carla set out to save him, and the selfless act of love propelled the headstrong beauty on a perilous quest that could destroy her. Moon of Deceit, future leader of his order, Logan had vanquished enemies capable of destroying lesser men, so he expected no trouble when a sinister plot brought a mere woman to him. But Carla proved an attractive distraction who would test his self-control beyond all endurance. Moon of Desires, as the three moons of the planet Thurlow moved into alignment, Logan and Carla headed for a collision of heavenly bodies that would bring them ecstasy or utter devastation. This sounds so good. So this is a futuristic one, so it looks like we are on a different planet that has 3 moons. I'm here for that. I love a good kind of like space futuristic romance. So there's that one. The next one, that we have is called To Touch the Stars by Tess Mallory, and again, another cover worthy of a step back. This particular one was published in March of 1998, so it's a little bit more recent than some of them, but still in the 90s. This is also a futuristic romance, and on the back it says Eagle was enjoying the quiet serenity of Station 1 when suddenly it was attacked by a rebel spacecraft. Oh, this one's in space, you guys. Before he could defend himself, he was pinned by a beautiful droid who demanded to know the whereabouts of a child. Then she removed her helmet and he discovered she was all woman with cascading silver blonde hair, cat-like blue eyes, and a steely determination to find out the information she needed at any cost. Skyra would let nothing and no one stand in her way of finding her little sister Famela was the only hope of freedom for the rebels. But the more time she spent with Eagle, the more she felt something stronger than compassion for her prisoner. Something that made her burn with delicious turmoil when she envisioned his sleek, muscular form, and only in his arms did she find an ecstasy like none she'd ever known, one that lifted her high enough to touch the stars. This one sounds so good, you guys. So this one is a space one. I'm going to see if there's any time frame for this, but it does not look like there is that I can see anyway. But a droid, spacecrafts, need I say more? Like, yes please. The next one I have is called Golden Temptress by Patricia Rowanbeck. This is also a futuristic romance. This one does have a sticker on the cover, so I'll have to try and get that back off, but the cover is super cute, and I could be wrong here, but this kind of looks like it might be Fabio on the cover of this. I could be completely wrong, but this is what it looks like. Another step back, like, worthy cover. So this was published in May of 1997, and this particular one says, the warrior, raised to lead his people, sworn to protect them from any danger, Orban had dedicated his life to battling opponents of the Protectorate. But the moment his men took the mysterious green-eyed woman from the enemy transport, he sensed there would be indescribable pleasures in claiming her, and he would have given all his wealth to make the provocative stranger his own. The captive, sheltered and innocent, Ariel longed to lose herself in Orban's hard, muscled embrace, but she could not become his mistress, for she had been snatched from her forgotten world by invaders who threatened to destroy it, and Ariel vowed to stop them, even if it meant leaving the virile rescuer whose mere touch aroused a burning desire like no one she had ever known. That sounds so good. So this is another futuristic one. So this seems like it would be on 2 different planets, which seems really, really interesting. I've never read anything like that before, so super excited. And I've never read any of these authors either, by the way. So yes, so there's that. Now on to the next set of books. So the next 3 books are from the same author. Now, back at the beginning of the year in January, we had the Lifeline Book Fest here. And I did go to that and I picked up a bunch of books, and some of them were historicals. And one of the authors was Christina Sky. I think the book I picked up was Brides of Mist or something like that. It was from the Draycott Abbey series. And it wasn't the first book in the series. I think it was the 3rd book in the series, which again doesn't bother me. And I coverboard. And I'll be honest with you guys, I am a huge cover buyer. Like, I will buy books based on their covers. If they're an ugly looking cover, I won't buy it. It's just, it is what it is. But I really wanted to pick up the rest of the books in the Draycott Abbey series, and I found a seller on eBay that was selling book 4, 6, and 7. So I still need to get books 1 and 2, 5, and I think there might be an 8th one. I can't remember. So, but I found 4, 6, and 7. So let's get into that. So book 4 is Key to Forever, and this is what the cover looks like. Nothing super crazy. It's got raised foiled lettering. So you've got the author's name in like a purple foil, the title in a blue foil, and then you've got the keyhole in gold. Now, this is the Draycott Abbey series, like I said. I don't think you have to read these in order. I'll have to double check on Goodreads, but I don't think you have to, because I think each book is about a different couple. So I think you can. I think it's safe to read them out of order if you wish to. I generally don't read books, like book series, out of order, but I have started to with some series, because some series, their books are really just like a standalone within that like series, if that makes a sense. So excuse me, I'm yawning. I've been playing Dreamlight Valley for most of the morning, and I'm tired because I didn't get any sleep. Okay, so this one says, once raised to defend the doomed Scottish queen, the Cameron sword lies hidden, guarded by a deadly curse. Only the bravest dare seek the fabled blade and the rare treasure it contains. A British earl with gypsy blood in his wild youth, Alexei Cameron shared an extraordinary night with a beautiful stranger who vanished with the dawn. Now she is back in his life, bound to him in a chilling mission. A tour guide at beautiful Draycott Abbey and an expert on ancient weaponry, Joanna Russell had good reasons for abandoning Alex after their unforgettable night of passion, but she must forget her haunted past to solve the puzzle of the lost Cameron sword, confronting dark secrets and an enemy who knows too much. To find their treasure, Alex and Joanna must fulfill their destiny set centuries before, for the key to an ancient mystery lies in a passion reborn and in haunting love too long denied. I'm wondering if this is dual timeline. I could be wrong, but that's what it sounds like to me. Let's have a look. So the prologue starts in Sussex, England in 1984. Where is chapter 1? And then chapter 1, we are still in... Okay, so chapter 1 starts 12 years later in Sussex. I don't know. This is intriguing. I think this could be a dual timeline, but I'm not 100% certain. This one was actually published by Avon Books. and it was published in 1997. So really looking forward to getting to that one. Okay, so book number 6. So I don't have book 5. I've got book 4, and I've got book 3, 4, 6, and 7. So this is book number 6. It is called hang on, no, wrong one. Book 6 is called Christmas Night, and it's got this really pretty Christmassy cover. I love it. So that's what it looks like. So this one was published in 1998 by Avon Books as well. Super, super cute. So this one says, from out of the Scottish mist rides a dark figure, a man sworn to protect any woman needing his strength. A damsel in distress, Hope O'Hara, desperately needs a Christmas miracle or she'll lose her beloved Glenbrae house forever. Just when she thinks all is lost, a mysterious stranger comes riding into her life. From the moment she first sees him, Hope instinctively trusts a Ronan MacLeod, but she doesn't quite know what to do when her valiant and virile rescuer claims that he's a medieval knight. This is a dual timeline. Yes. A knight in shining armour, heeding the call of a lady in need is the duty of a true knight, but the damsel that MacLeod has been sent through time to protect is unlike any maiden he has ever encountered. She's stubborn, outspoken, and possesses a wondrous beauty he is powerless to resist. And after he first holds Hope in his arms, MacLeod knows he, with a little help from Dracot Abbey's guardian ghost and his cat Gideon, will do anything to rescue her from an unknown enemy bent on destroying her dreams. Need I say more? Okay, we're set in Scotland. Yes, anything that's set in Scotland, I'm here for. We have dual timelines, so there's time travel in this. Yes. We're in Dracot Abbey. Yes. Medieval knight. Sign me up. And there's a ghost in this and a cat named Gideon. I mean, need I say more? Looking forward to reading this. And then book 7 I have is The Perfect Gift, which is also a Christmas one. I love the cover of this one. It's super, super cute. This one was published in 1999, so a little bit more recent than some of the other books I hold today. So this one says, a woman of rare passion. When Maggie Kincaid arrives at Dracot Abbey, she's stunned to feel that the weathered stone walls offer a safe haven from the dangers of her past. The tranquil English manner soothes her troubled soul until her peace is shattered by the tall, sexy Scotsman who claims he's been sent to protect her from the start. Maggie bristles under Jared McNeil's piercing scrutiny, yet his every touch jolts her heart and her soul. So these are all time travel from, like, you've got dual timelines, so you've got like medieval knights in like today. And when I say today, this is like early 80s and 90s. But this sounds so good so far. A Highland hero with a granite code of honour, Jared arrives at the hauntingly beautiful abbey under protest, vowing this assignment will be his very last. But he is enchanted by the breathtaking American assigned to his care, for beneath her bravado he senses a woman desperately in need of help. Despite all his honourable vows, Maggie's bravery intrigues him, and her slightest touch inflames his deepest passions. When an old dame stalks Maggie to the high hills of Scotland, Jared swears who move heaven and earth to keep her safe. This sounds so good, you guys. I cannot wait to read this series, and you definitely can read these out of order because they are a different couple in every book. So that's good because I've got books 3, 4, 6, and 7, so really excited for that. Now, the very, very last book I have is not a romance at all. So I absolutely love cozy mysteries. I love cozy mysteries so much. Like, they are like my cozy guilty pleasure. I don't even want to call them a guilty pleasure because there is no guilt in reading these. I just love them on a cozy, cold, dreary day. I just want to curl up with a cozy mystery. I love them. They're sweet. I just enjoy reading them. And one of my favorite cozy mystery series is actually the Hannah Swenson series by Joanne Fluke. And a few of the Hannah Swenson books were actually turned into Hallmark movies. And in the book, Hannah, she owns a a store called the Cookie Jar, and she bakes cookies for a living. And she's our main character, and in I think books 6 and 7 there is talks throughout the books of Hannah putting together a cookbook in the actual book series, and this is it. It's the cookbook from the Hannah Swensen series. So this one just says Lake Eden Cookbook, Hannah Swensen's recipes from the Cookie Jar. And I am so excited. This book, I have been trying to get my hands on this freaking book for the longest time. I did want the hardcover, but I couldn't get my hands on it. And then I saw this come up on eBay for a really good deal, brand new. So I snatched it up. I got it for, I think it was like $25, because the other, like this edition, whether it's hard cover or paperback, was costing anywhere between $90 to $200, because I don't think they print this anymore, and I refuse to pay $90 to $200 for like one of these types of books. It's just not happening. So for years I've been trying to get this damn book and haven't had any luck. And then like I did order this book off of Dimmicks, which is a bookstore here in Australia, and they took my money, and then it was like a whole month went by, and then they were like, sorry, yeah, we don't have it, here's your money back. I was like, are you shitting me? So I was so excited to find this on eBay. I put in an offer. I think the book was originally $30, and I put in an offer to see if they'd accept like 25 or something like that, and they did. So I was excited. It was also free shipping, so yes. So I got it. Now this book though is not your traditional cookbook. It's not just a cookbook. It's a cookbook with story in it, because it's a part of the Hannah Swensen series. And I saw a lot of people on Amazon like reviewing this book and being mad about the fact that it wasn't just a cookbook. It's like, no shit, people. I'm sorry, but I'm just gonna say this here, but like, fuck me, some people are dumbasses, excuse my language here, but like, really, do you not bother reading any descriptions or anything before you purchase things? Like, oh my god, like some of the things that I read that people were saying about this book, I was like, oh, you can't be that stupid. Like, really? It literally says Hannah Swensen's recipes from a cookie jar. In the description, it tells you that this is a part of a cozy mystery series. So yes, there are stories in here that pertain to the Hannah Swensen cozy mystery series. It's not just a plain cookbook. I'm just like, I can't. But I love it. It does have deckled edges. I love the look of deckled edges. Deckled edges are always so pretty, but I hate the functionality of deckled edges because it does make things harder to turn. This one does have the French flap on here, and then on the inside of the cover you actually have a coloured map of Lake Eden where the Hannah Swensen series takes place. And then in the Hannah Swensen series, because it is a baking cozy mystery, she does have recipes in every one of her books that Hannah Swensen, the character, makes in either her cookie store or for friends and family. And so it's recipes out of the series, but then there's also a few, where did I read? I think there's some exclusive ones in here that were put in here just for the cookbook that aren't in the Hannah Swensen series. There's also a Christmas edition of this, which I really want to get my hands on. It's basically the same, but with then Christmas ones in there. I want it. I'll get it one day. It took me years to get this, like literally probably 4 or 5 years, so I'm patient, I can get it. But I do want to point out some things in here. So let's see. I'm just going to skip past acknowledgements, author's notes. Okay, so you do have illustrations in here as well. I think it's really cute. And then you literally jump into a story. Like, it's literally as if Hannah, you're reading a cozy mystery series, like one of the cozy mystery books in the Hannah Swensen series, because it obviously is always from Hannah's point of view, and that's how this starts. And then she's like, you know, I haven't read this one yet because I want to read the Hannah Swensen book series in order. And in this series, this book hasn't been published yet in the book series, so I haven't got to this yet. But I want to show you, like, for instance, here it says Dolores Swenson. Dolores Swenson is Hannah's mother. It says 4th annual Christmas cookie exchange luncheon, and then it's got a picture with the menu, and then it says on there, appetizer course, razzle dazzle champagne cocktails, or faux razzle dazzle champagne cocktails, razzle dazzle baked brie. The main course is Hannah's chicken salad, Herb's herb biscuit. Dessert course is tapioca cheesecake, and then peanut butter and jelly pie. I don't know about that one. And then you continue into the story, and then you come to a recipe. So the first recipe in this book is for an appetizer, and it's cream cheese puffs. And then, like, you have the recipe. So here's like the story, and then it goes into the recipe. And then there's also no pictures in this. So if you're expecting pictures, don't, because you're not going to get it. That's another one of the complaints in this, because these stupid people bought this book thinking it was a cookbook without bothering to actually read what this book was supposed to be about, and thought that there would be pictures in there. No, it's not a cookbook in that regard. Like, there's not pictures for the item that you're cooking, because it's not that type of cookbook. You've got Razzle Dazzle Baked Brie, which was one of the appetizers. I love it. And it just continues on. You've got Fake Orange Julius, Razzle Dazzle Champagne Cocktails, and then you continue on with the story, and then you get to Trudy's Shrimp Bisque, lobster bisque with sour cream and red caviar. I hate seafood, so I will never make any of that, but I actually plan on cooking recipes from all of these books, because, I mean, why not? You've got Auntie Kitty's cottage cheese pancakes. That doesn't sound too bad. Breakfast omelets, funeral hot dish, anniversary hot dish. I have no idea what that is. But it's just fun, you guys. Like, grilled cream cheese sandwiches. Grilled cream cheese sandwiches. That is definitely an American thing. Hannah's chicken salad. Hole in one. Oh, yes, I know what hole in one is. So a hole in one is where you take a piece of bread, you cut a hole in the center of the bread, and then you put an egg in the hole and you cook it. That is a hole in one. You've got Mexican hot dish, Sally's sunny vegetable salad, salmon cakes with dill sauce or easy celery sauce. I don't do salmon. Edna's easy celery sauce. Like, it's just fun, like, just fun recipes. And these are supposed to be like recipes that, like, these people in this town have had in their family for, like, ever. Like Bernadette's popovers with fancy butters. And it gives you recipes for the fancy butters. So you got cashew butter, honey butter, almond butter, date butter, orange butter, lemon butter. Intriguing. Ooh, blueberry muffins. Yes. Herb's herb biscuits. Mango bread. That's an interesting one. Peach bread. Again, never heard of any of those. Lemon meringue pie. Okay, guys, I've never had a lemon meringue pie. I know, right? It's not a thing here in Australia. Just never had one. Key lime pie. I've also never had a key lime pie. Again, key lime pie is not a thing in Australia. Mock apple pie. Peanut butter and jelly pie. That's... I don't know that I would necessarily like that. And we also don't call like peanut butter and jelly here. We call it jam, because jelly for us is what you guys would call jello. So yes, I don't know about that. Cherry cheesecake. Never had a cherry cheesecake. I'm not a huge fan of cherries, but, like, I would give that a go. Chocolate peanut butter cake. That sounds actually delicious. Cocoa fudge cake. Yes. Sorry about that. My camera cut off. You got like carrot cake in here, wedding cookie cake, mini cherry cheesecakes, orange cake, rhubarb custard cake, Sally's Flowers chocolate. Okay, chocolate cake. Like, it's just got so many things in here. Scandinavian almond cake. That sounds interesting. Like, it's just filled with so many different things, and like in this book, like the recipes, like they all sound amazing. Even the ones that I probably wouldn't eat still sound good. And I just love the fact that it has like a story that goes along, and it even has in the back, let's see here, substitutions. So like if you need to substitute something, because these recipes are obviously all American and I'm here in Australia, and so some things I don't have in Australia that you guys do in America, and also sometimes some things are called different thing, like by a different name. But you got substitute for store-bought brown sugar is 1 cup of granulated sugar and 2 tablespoons of dark molasses. Molasses is not easy to come by, might I add. Substitute for store-bought buttermilk is 1 tablespoon of fresh lemon juice or white vinegar if you don't have lemon juice. 1 cup minus 1 tablespoon of whole milk at room temperature. Substitute for cake flour. Chopped nuts. Substitutes for egg. There's just so many things in here. And then you've got other sweet treats. So you've got more like little, what do you call it, recipes. And then, yeah, like I just love it. And then also on the back, it has recipes alphabetically by category, and so it has every recipe that's in this book in an index for you. So if you want a particular recipe, you could flip to a certain page to get that recipe, which I thought was really handy to have. So you've got like appetizers, bar cookies, beverages, breads and muffins, cakes and cupcakes. So it lists it all in like order for you in the index for what you're looking for. You have candy and cookies. There are a lot of cookies. There's like 2 whole pages of cookies. Frostings and icings, other sweet treats, pies, quick and easy meals, salads, soups, and substitutions for some ingredients. And then also it has on the very back is baking conversion charts. So it has it in US terminology and then metric terminology for everybody else. So that's actually really handy to have as well. So I'm so excited for this. I cannot wait to read this. And then it has a cute little illustration in the back. And then on the very back cover, this is actually Joanne Fluke. She is the author of the Hannah Swenson series. So excuse me, my sneezes are just out of control. But yeah, I'm really excited. I actually cannot wait to read this, and this is going to get tabbed up, you guys, with tabs, because there are so many recipes in here that I want to try. But anyway, guys, this has probably been the longest book haul I've ever done, because I bought all of these books, mostly historical romances and futuristic, like alien type romances. These are all new to me. And then this, because I've been hunting this down for years and I finally got my hands on it. Even though it's not the hardcover, I still got this and I wanted this for so long. I'm so excited for all of these books. I got all of these books for such good deals on eBay, you guys. And a lot of the places, like American eBay has way bigger of book availabilities on eBay. Here in Australia, it's a lot more reduced when you're looking for this type of stuff. So the fact that I found all of these, and these are things that I've never seen before, I was so excited. They came from, I think, 4 or 5 different eBay sellers, and I was so happy. Every single one of them, I was able to make an offer, or they sent me an offer with a reduced price, and every single one of them was also free shipping. So I was really excited. I got every book for really, really good deals. So super excited to add all of these into my book collection. I'm definitely going to be starting to collect more historical and also the time swept romances and the futuristic romances and the paranormal historical romances, because those are way up my alley. But anyway guys, I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And also, if you've read any of these books, leave a comment down below and let me know what you thought, or if you have any recommendations that are very similar to these books, let me know. I am all ears for that. Anyway guys, I'm going to chat to you guys later. Bye!